I actually resisted meditation for the longest time when I was kind of starting out to try to better myself and stuff. At the beginning, I was just working like very directly on psychology and kind of social skills. Then I went to philosophy and, like improving habits and stuff like that. But I always felt like meditation is just like, okay, why? You're just sitting there and doing nothing. Why would you do that? But low key, it's actually the thing that will change you the most, I think. And I will try to kind of just explain it to you logically, like why you should meditate in this video so that you can kind of start sooner and um, not spend too much time like me, who was probably spending more time than was necessary on this kind of phase where I'm just, I guess, thinking too much or whatever. I mean, I never felt like I'm an overthinker really because all the things I thought about, they were very legit. But then I also have to admit that in the end, a lot of the things that I was spending a lot of time like considering and trying to figure out, um, probably could have been done away with if I just been a little bit more present. And I think that's the main thing. Like that's the first thing. Just the fact that you're present. Because the problem is not really that you don't know enough or you're missing something, but more likely it's that you're not really connected to yourself and your life. You're not really aware of what's going on, just simply. So, thinking about what to do and I mean, like, what is the right course of action or stuff like that, yeah, of course, has its place. But what I found is that I would more often than not, I guess, just be um in the place of trying to figure things out from a point where it wasn't even where I was at in life, you know? And that's like the point with presence, really. When you just meditate, you consider your life from where you're really at right now, not from where you think you should be or who you think you should be or who you would like to be or how you would like to see yourself, but instead you just get like very real and think of like you start to think from like, okay, this is what's going on right now. This is where I'm really at, kind of mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and all of those things. That's kind of where it's at. And really, it feels like you don't even have to meditate kind of for that. It's um, just kind of, you just sit down and you just kind of sit with it, right? I mean, really, that is what meditation is. You just kind of sit with your current situation instead of trying to think your way out of it. And then ultimately, yeah, you are going to kind of have to, figure something out or whatever. But it's like infinitely easier if you're actually coming from a place where um you're not just in like a fantasy land, but you're just actually thinking from where you're at right now. Plus the meditation, when you meditate and you just kind of calm yourself down, you just really think from a different level. You just think from a completely different level. And I think the first thing where you can notice, particularly this is where I noticed, is that my breathing was a lot of the time very, or like is still like, I still go into this state where if I don't pay attention, my breathing will be very shallow and I'll even like stop breathing. Like I'll even like hold my breath without thinking about it. Like I will try to listen to something or concentrate on something. and I'm actually like holding my breath. And try to actually just observe your breath without influencing it. That means you actually sit and you let your breath come in and out effortlessly. So you don't try to breathe in, you don't try to breathe out, but you just let it be and do whatever is most effortless in every single moment. Understand? So if I do that, then what I will find personally is that at least initially I will go to very shallow breath, because that's been my kind of default for probably way too long. So try that and see what happens. And another thing you can do, which you could test right now with me, because if you're like me, like try to take a deep breath, like as much, you take a deep breath and you take in as much air as possible, and pay attention to where in your body is the air going. When you're breathing in deeply, at first probably it should go into your stomach, but then does it continue as you take in as much air as possible, like as you fill yourself up to the maximum with air? Does your belly continue to expand, like until the end of the breath, or like the abdominal area? Does your breath go into your whole body, or are you like me, where you literally you breathe in and then halfway to your max, so you breathe in and then halfway until here you're breathing into your belly, but then if you keep breathing, then suddenly, like without trying anything, you might find that you just naturally pull your belly in and you take the rest of the air into your lungs at the top, so at your like chest area. So at the beginning, even though you try to breathe into your belly, as you fill yourself up to the max, you just find that it fills your chest instead, and like your belly contracts. If that's the case, then you're the same as me, where you kind of got used to not breathing into your diaphragm. And really, if you're breathing into your diaphragm, it just calms your whole nervous system. So if you're kind of unable to, or like if your abdominal area feels tight, if your lower body feels tight when you're breathing in there, that's I mean, I'm not like an expert or anything, but in my case, I found that it's actually like a sign that it's like a constant kind of state of fight or flight, basically. And that's like just one more thing, like that's just one of so many things that you will get from meditation, but not from like thinking, is you will discover what state are you actually even in, and your thoughts will be coming according to that state. So if you are constantly in an anxious state and you're drawing shallow breaths, all the thoughts that are popping into your mind are literally based on anxiety and stress. So they are not very effective at all. And this feels hard to accept, especially if you are anxious. Like, it feels very hard to accept this logic of just relax. Because when you're anxious, obviously the last thing you want to do is relax, because you think, well, no, I need to figure something out. I can't just sit still now. I can't just sit around meditating. This is useless. I need to do something. But what you find is, once you actually calm down, once you, I guess, like, raise your vibration or whatever, is that the thoughts you get are just naturally like way, way more effective. Like, you just get ideas, you just feel inspired, on like a way different level. You feel motivated to do completely different things. You are feeling hopeful, all this good shit. Like all the things you want that would actually help you, they are on, like they are a state of being rather than like, it's rather than like trying to do things or figure things out or try to get things. That's actually what you're looking for, is like another state of being. And you can get there through meditation. Like that's the most direct way probably to work on yourself. Um there was another thing that I really wanted to say. All right. Another very big reason that like which is gonna appeal to you, especially if you're logical like me, is that um meditation will help you connect all of your like all of your thoughts, you know? Like if you think about it like from a kind of neurological perspective, I'm pretty sure I've heard that like they even said that okay, what they find in people's brains like from people who meditate, their brains are more interconnected than average person's brain who like from people who don't meditate, you know? So think about it like this. If you're just, let's say you're like what I was well I'm still doing this, like I'm still like consuming like tons of information every day because I'm just obsessed with learning. But if you're just only doing that and you just keep piling on new information without processing it, which like nowadays I'm meditating, but I used to just pile on more and more information and kind of never really get anywhere. um yeah, then it's just kind of like a mess. But what you're doing when you're meditating is you're starting to connect all the dots, and you can do this without piling on a ton of information. In fact, in a lot of cases it can be better when you don't have that much stuff in your brain. Like now I can be grateful because okay, now I have a lot of shit in my brain and it's connected and it's working for me. But it can be better if you actually have less stuff, and then there's less stuff that needs to be managed, you know? Less like like you're having like a more simple mind. People say it as if it's a bad thing, but if you have a simple mind, it's actually one of the best things, because you will just be happy. You will not need to overthink about a bunch of stuff. You will just see, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I seem to need to work on. Okay, I just do it. Or like, do I want to do it or not? Done, you know? And you just make a decision. I know people like that. They are not stupid or anything at all. They're very hardworking, they're very kind, they're very smart, they were very wise. The only thing is they are not necessarily aware of how wise, how kind and strong and everything they are, you know? But it's like that could almost be like it could be kind of a positive, like you're just humble, you know? You're gonna be a very likable person. You're gonna have a lot of friends. You're not gonna be unhappy, basically, you know? Um, but yeah, so maybe that's it. But just overall, like I think I can only stress, especially the point of like the interconnectedness. When you're sitting down to meditate, you will actually form authentic new insights. You're actually going to connect all the stuff that you learned in your brain and actually um, make something useful with it. Like if you're just having like information float around your mind and it's just kind of loosely floating there without being connected to anything, then you often don't do anything. But if you're sitting down to meditate and you're processing your thoughts and you're processing your emotions and your beliefs and everything, like you literally don't even have to do anything. You can just sit down and let it happen. That's the beautiful thing. Like, you don't have to figure anything out. That's the beautiful thing about meditating. You literally you can just sit down and you observe what is going on in your mind and in your body and with your emotions and everything. And that will happen automatically because your thoughts are just like you don't need to try to think or anything. You can sit down and say like, okay, for the next even 1 minute, I will not think anything. Like set that goal. Like get your phone and set a timer for like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and you say, okay, in this time, I will pay attention. I will only pay attention and not think. You're never gonna make it to the 5 minute mark, basically, without thinking. And if you did, it's probably because you're just like thinking and not even aware of it because you're so deep in it. Like it's so normal you don't even know what thinking is. Like there's these cases like it's unbelievable. Like I meditate every day, but I notice how fucking quick a thought comes and you don't even notice. Like, you're just sitting there and before you know it, you're already thinking. Like you're just in the middle of it. So do that, like if you actually want to take control of your life. I really believe in this now. Really a believer now in meditation for how it could improve my well-being. Like even if it's just that, even if it's just improving my mental well-being is already worth it. It doesn't even need to do anything more for me if I'm being honest. But it will do a lot for you. It will just make you feel so much better. So yeah, try it out. You don't really need to force yourself to do anything. Like you don't need to necessarily set a structure. I never had a structure personally because what I just like I'm always just being intuitive, just kind of listening to myself. And so I kind of got into the habit naturally of just sitting down throughout the day over time. But yeah, of course, it can help you if you're more like the kind of structured person who likes to have a routine and stuff. Then yeah, but just do it. So, like just make an effort to meditate. I hope I could give you like some logical reasons with this video to actually do it and see the benefits of it. But yeah, anyway, if this helped you, let me know. Let me know your thoughts also if you have your own experiences with meditations and how it helped you in your life. And other than that, take care and see you in the next one. Bye bye.